Okay. Okay. Prayers by Prahlad Maharaj. We just finished our prayers. Thank you for singing Niraja Mataji. It was very nice.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So again, this is what you sang. Narsimha Avatar. We are going to see. Shri Narsimha Pranam. This is what you sang. So it says, Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagdisha Hare. So Krishna himself, appeared as Narsimhadev, and Narsimhadev is eternal. It's not like he took the form and he again went back and disappeared. It's not like that. Narsimhadev exists eternally. So this is Prahlad Maharaj, one of the greatest devotees of Lord Krishna. He was a little boy, and we know about him. Before we did this in Narsimha Avatar, in Dashavatar sessions, we covered all the different avatars, Matsya Avatar, Vamana Avatar, and we covered Narsimha Avatar. So today we are going to study about his prayers. So this is Narsimha Dev killing all the army. After Hiranyakashipu died, when Hiranyakashipu was attacking, fighting Narsimha Dev, his army also showed up. So just with his nails, he killed all of them also. So after this, I'll just read this. The great Saint Narad Muni continued. The demigods headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other great demigods dared not come forward before the Lord, who at that time was extremely angry. Thereafter, Lord Brahma requested Prahlad Maharaj, who was standing very near him, "My dear son, Lord Narsimha Dev is extremely angry at your demoniac father. Please go forward and appease the Lord." Narad Muni continued, "O king, although the exalted devotee Prahlad Maharaj was only a little boy, he accepted Lord Brahma's words. He gradually proceeded toward Narsimha Dev and fell down to offer his respectful obeisances with folded hands. Everyone offered prayers from far. They saw his Ugra Roop. They got very kind of, fearful. Actually, devotees are not scared, they don't fear anything. But in this case, Krishna himself says he appears here to reduce the burden of the earth. So in their heart, they know that Narasimha Dev has come here to actually set right everything. But looking at that, his anger, and it was not a small figure. It was very huge, gigantic. So everybody was a little bit nervous to go closer. But Prahlad Maharaj was not afraid at all. But his worry was, am I qualified to go and offer my obeisances? Am I qualified to garland the Lord? That was his problem. He was thinking he was more than qualified. Vaishnavas think like that. All elevated devotees, they think they are very, very, they are more fallen than Jagai Madai also. So Prahlad Maharaj was a pure devotee, and that's what he was thinking. But he went close because Brahma also convinced him. He offered his prayers, and we'll see what all he spoke. Such a small boy, such pearls he spoke. Can someone read this? Hare Krishna.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. When Lord Narsimha Dev saw the small boy Prahlada Maharaja prostrated at the soles of his lotus feet, he became most ecstatic in affection toward his devotee. Raising Prahlada, the Lord placed his lotus hand upon the boy's head because his hand is always ready to create fearlessness in all of his devotees. By the touch of Lord Narsimhadeva's hand on Prahlada Maharaja's head, Prahlada was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Therefore, he at once became transcendentally situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body. His heart filled with love and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. Prahlada Maharaja fixed his mind and sight upon Lord Narsimha with full attention in complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love with a faltering voice. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Now starts his prayers. He will start his prayers now. Let's see one by one what all he said. Yes. So, if you want, you can chant the verse also. or you can read the translation, whatever, Mataji.
Yes,
Who would like
Mataji.
to? Okay,
Hi.
would you like to? Yes, Mataji.
Shall I only, or anyone is going to translate?
Let me see. Whoever wants to read, please raise your hand so that we know. Uh, okay, you can recite this one. Next one we'll see, Mataji.
Okay,
Sorry.
Mataji. Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Brahmadaya Sura Gana Munayo Ata Siddhaha Satvai Gatayo Vachasam Pravahai Naradithum Puru Guner Adhuna Pipruhu Kim Tostum Arhati Same Harir Ugrajate. Prahlada Maharaja prayed, how is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of Asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words, although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness. Then what is to be said of me? I am not at all qualified. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji shows how humble Prahlad is. Actually, the Lord appeared because of him. He appeared to please his devotee. Because killing Narsimha Dev need not have appeared, killing Hiranyakashipu or, for that case, even killing Kamsa is not a very big thing for the Lord. He appeared just to please his devotee. And Prahlad Maharaj is thinking, how can I? And the purport Prabhupada is given, he considers himself unqualified, lower than the worms, and more sinful than all the fallen people. And then Prabhupada also mentions what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says: Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, amanina, manadena, kirtaniya, sada, hari. That is, he's saying one should chant the holy name of the Lord, and you should be very humble, in the humble state of mind, and consider himself lower than a straw. That's what, Tanadapi Suchina, Tarorapi Sahishnuna means, Tarorapi means, Sahishnuna means as tolerant as a tree, or more tolerant than a tree. And so, no false prestige, no false ego. And that person should be ready to offer all respects to others, but should not be seeking honor. Oh, somebody should respect me, somebody should appreciate me, and my service is so great, I'm such a great Vaishnava, I'm following all the rules. This kind of attitude or arrogance does not, you know happen to a pure devotee. They are very meek, very humble. And if a person is not actually like this, humble, no humility, then it is not easy to make progress in spiritual life. uh, in this world, that's what is happening, right? In the materialistic situation, everybody wants appreciation, everybody is applauding, there is always competition going on. But in the spiritual world, it's like different. You are a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord of the Gopis. That's how we are. So we have to remember that. And then only few shlokas have the shlokas, Mataji. The others just have translation. So you can, if somebody wants to read this sloka also is fine. Others, you can read the translation. We'll go ahead with the explanation. Sukanya Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Manye dhana bhajan rupa tapa shrutau jasteja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga naradhaya naradhanaya hi bhavanti Parshya Pumso Bhaktya Tutosa Bhagavan Gaja Yutapaye. Prahlad Maharaja continued, one may possess wealth and aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. These slokas that have, these many, in Bhagavad Gita, the slokas have different tune because of the number of letters and all. Here it is Manye Dana Bijana Rupa Tapa Shrutaujas Teja Prabhava Bala Paurusha Buddhi Yoga Naradhanaya Hi Bhavanti Parasya Pumso Bhaktya Tutosha Bhagavan Gajayutapaya. Like that, It is sung in tune actually. There are 2-3 tunes.
Beautifully you said, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, in 8 a.m. also, Prabhuji is using he has a tune also. If you see, he makes us repeat. So thank you, Mataji. So now what is happening here is the example is given of Gajendra. So no kind of material qualification or all the skills or whatever we develop or all kind of mental speculation, nothing will help us in understanding Krishna, only devotional service. Devotional service in love. That is what will take us towards Krishna. That is what will actually help us understand him. And he says, Bhaktya Mam Abhijananti. So that is given in the purport also, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. So unless the Lord is pleased by our service, he will not reveal himself to us. So Prahlad Maharaj, the way he was thinking and absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, he was actually very pleased, and so he appeared from just a column, from a pillar he appeared and he actually revealed himself. So otherwise it's not easy. That is the qualification, devotional service in pure love. That's what Krishna is looking for. All the material qualification will not help. Because his father was very opulent. So that was not the qualification. And can someone read this, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read.
Sure.
If a Brahman has all 12 of the Brahmanical qualifications, as they are stated in the book called Sanat Sujata, but is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything mind, words, activities, wealth, and life to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahmana, because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas a so-called Brahmana, in a position of false prestige, cannot purify even himself. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, Prahlad Maharaj is one of the 12 authorities, Mahajanas. And he is telling what is the difference between a devotee and a Brahmana. So some Brahmanas are, they might be expert in Karma Kanda and Vedic all the ritualistic ceremonies and all that. But a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj can actually deliver his entire family. So he says, but practical example also they have seen this in Krishna consciousness. All these foreign disciples, they all, when they joined ISKCON and were following all the rules and they were completely dedicated to the service, their families also benefited. They were also at the time of death, trying to chant, trying to think of Krishna. So Prabhupada says we have theoretically also, practically also we have seen this. So devotee can make a very big change in his own family. So just like Prahlad Maharaj, see now his father and so many generations of forefathers, ancestors, and future generations, everybody benefited because of one Prahlad Maharaj. And it says birth is not important. Guna and karma is what determines who we are. So we have examples of Haridas Thakur, who was born in a Muslim family, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him shelter. He took shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was, chanting the Lord's name, and he's also called Namacharya, like this. And then Ramanand Rai is there. He was also not a Brahmana, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much pleased by him, like this. So, from which background we are coming from, which family we have taken birth from, it does not matter. All that matters is how surrendered we are, and if we are following or taken shelter of a spiritual master. So, that's what is very, very important. So, who can read this? Hare Krishna.
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
The Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always fully satisfied in himself. Therefore, when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee, for the Lord does not need service from anyone. To give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in a mirror is also seen to be decorated. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. And all these 9 processes, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, all these 9 processes the devotees follow, it is not for the benefit of the Lord, it is for our benefit. The more we glorify the Lord, we will purify ourselves. So automatically we also become glorified. So devotee himself becomes glorified just by glorifying the Lord. So this is what is the essence of this shloka. Because if a person has to advance in Krishna consciousness, he has to come out of this, become free of this materialistic inclinations and everything. It is like the blazing fire. The material existence is compared to the blazing fire. And how do we even extinguish that? So Krishna himself says there are 4 kinds of miscreants who are never attracted to me. They never surrender. Like, the foolish, the lowest among mankind. Namam dushkritino muda, prapadyante naradama, maya pratagnana, asram bhavam asrita. These people never surrender unto me, and they are like that. But Krishna is full in himself. He is not looking for anything. By doing all this service, only we are going to benefit. And that is why he appears also, so that he can claim all the souls that are already in the Shuddha Sattva platform. He wants to take us back home. So that is his intention. Okay, this is. Yes, can someone read this, please? Hare Krishna.
I'll read Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Therefore, although I was born in a demonic family, I may without a doubt offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor, as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. Bhagavadgita 18.55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato gnatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj decided to offer his best prayers to the Lord without consideration of his material position. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So in the purport also, Prabhupada is saying a devotee need not be born in a very high family, a rich family, aristocratic family, or he need not be very beautiful, whatever, all these things will not help. Just engage in the Lord's devotional service. That is what helps, and while engaging in the devotional service, the devotee should think God is great and I'm very small. And I really have no qualification, I'm fallen and I'm purifying myself. And whatever service comes their way, they have to do with that attitude. So we have to be very careful. Ego can set in, false prestige. So that should not happen. See, Prahlad, how humble he is. He can actually, after his father is dead now, he is the next person who is going to become the king. And his father had actually, controlling the whole world. And he was controlling the demigods also, Devatas also. And he can rule over everyone now. But instead, he wants to serve the Lord. In the next few verses, we will see he's telling, "Oh Lord, please give me your service." He doesn't want any opulence because he sees what happened. His father had all the opulence. What's the use? He had no devotion. He didn't know who was great. So that was all Asurin Bhava, right? All demoniac tendency. So he is not at all attached to any materialistic things. So he's so humble. So that's what we have to learn from Prahlad Maharaj. And Narasimha is very pleased because of this attitude. That's one thing that really made him appear for him. So one more shloka. Hare Krishna. Who is going to read? Sukanya Mataji had raised her hand. Is she there?
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji, I'm here.
You want to read, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji. Oh my Lord, all the demigods headed by Lord Brahma are sincere servants of your Lordship, who are situated in a transcendental position. Therefore, they are not like us. Prahlada and the father, the demon, Hiranyakashipu. Your appearance in this fearsome form is your pastime for your own pleasure. Such an incarnation is always meant for the protection and improvement of the universe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah. Now, what is Prabhupada saying in the Papadis is saying, see, we may think my father is protecting me, my mother is giving me shelter, and I'm so safe. We have all the family members, all we have friends, and we think we are quite safe. But actually, the real protection comes from the Lord only. And people think I'm doing great, and they think they are really actually doing great. And it's like the real problem we are facing is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age, and disease. These are the four problems we cannot, nobody has escaped death. Once we take birth, we have to give up this body. People fall sick. So they are suffering. There are miseries in this world. So only the Lord can take us out. The protection to a person or to a devotee comes from the Lord. So that is very, very important to remember. We just think we are irreplaceable, but the moment we disappear, in 2-3 days, people forget us, very fast. So the world will move on, nothing changes. But as long as we are there, we feel like we are very important. But only the eternal relationship with the Lord is what will, help us to move forward. Either we go back to Godhead if we are really pure, or the Lord is going to give us a proper situation and opportunity so that we can progress from where we stop. So we have to be very simple, faithful, and then this was such a fearful incarnation. The devotees are a little scared, but Prahlad Maharaj says the devotees also getting scared. Oh Narasimhadev, please give up your anger. Because we know why you have appeared, but the way you are appearing right now, you look so angry and there's blood and there's it's a violent scene. Please, he's seen his own father die in front of him. Imagine any ordinary boy would be so shocked. But Prahlad Maharaj is so elevated, how he's handling the situation. So nice. So this is all transcendental. So he requests the Lord to give up his anger. And the same hand that killed Hiranyakashipu touches Prahlad Maharaj, and it is as soft as a lotus flower. So soft. To his father, it was, the worst kind of weapon, but not to the devotees. So, very beautiful images. Hare Krishna. Can someone read this?
Can I read, Mataji?
Sure, Mataji.
My Lord Narasimhadeva, please therefore cease your anger now that my father, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, has been killed. Since even saintly persons take pleasure in the killing of a scorpion or a snake, all the works have achieved great satisfaction because of the death of this demon. Now they are confident of their happiness, and they will always remember your auspicious incarnation in order to be free from fear. Hiranyakashipu was killed because he was worse than a snake or a scorpion, and therefore everyone was happy. Now there was no need for the Lord to be angry. The devotee can always remember the form of Narasimhadeva when they are in danger, and therefore the appearance of Narasimhadeva was not at all inauspicious. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. When during tough times, we are also recommended, we are advised to chant Narasimhadev mantra. So there are so many of them. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu, that is there. And if you are, devotees are never afraid. They are fearless. But if, we are all, it's a practice. Day by day, we are getting better and better from Kanishta to Madhyama. We have so much distance to cover. But whenever we are, for some reason, we find ourselves in danger or something, we can take shelter of Narsimhadev. So that is recommended. And then actually why this is said is, yeah, snake and scorpion. Why? Because all the saintly people, all the elevated people, they never feel happy when someone dies because they are saintly. They don't feel happy. But in this case, they are also kind of happy. Why is that? Because some miscreants are there who cause so much disturbance to the sacrifices, and they cause so much inauspiciousness in that place. So Narasimhadev now has appeared and everything is so auspicious. So even saintly people were happy. Why? Why? Because it says he was killed because of worse than a snake or a scorpion. So that's why everybody was actually like finally. When Kamsa died, also everybody rejoiced. They were so happy because he was not a good king. Many people were troubled by him. So it was like that. So now the Lord's appearance, though it looks so fearful, but so ghastly it looks. Actually, it is all auspicious. So now Prahlad Maharaj is requesting so with so much innocence. See how see the here the image is so beautiful. He looks so scary, but you see, Prahlad Maharaj is actually is in the safe hands. Can someone read this, please? Hare Krishna.
I'll read, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
My Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp, pinching teeth, your garland of intestines, your mane soaked with blood, or your high, wedge like ears. Nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring, which makes elephants flee to distant place, or your nails, which are meant to kill your enemies. Hare Krishna Mata.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, a lion is very fearsome for all the animals. If it roars, all the animals run far. But for the cubs, they find, father's presence or the lioness being around, it feels very safe. For the cubs, it is not scary at all. Same way, for devotees, it is very, they feel protected. And there is another example given. If the ocean waters, like we saw tsunami, if that water comes on the, land, everybody gets scared because that means death. It can wash off so many cities and so many towns and everything and cause havoc. But same ocean, there are so many living entities. There are fish, there is shark, whatnot. All kind of water, ocean, aquatic animals live inside the big ocean. They are not scared. So it's like that. It's like fish taking the shelter of the ocean. So a devotee taking shelter of Narasimhadev is like that. He feels very happy. So that's what is the comparison given. So Prahlad Maharaj is very happy offering all these prayers to Narasimhadev. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sujata Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes. Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Oh, most powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen soul. I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal of liberation from conditional life? Will I read this also?
Okay, I'll read.
Being in the material,
Yes, you can read Mataji if you can. Hare Krishna.
being in the material world is certainly miserable, but certainly when one is put into the association of asuras or a stick man, it is intolerably. It is intolerably. So Prahlad admits that he was put into the life among the asuras because of the results of his karma. Not clear.
Yes, Mataji. So he's saying, certainly when one is put into the association of asuras or atheistic men, it is intolerably so. See, material world is, as it is, very troublesome. The moment we step out of the house, we have to, sometimes we see what all kind of people we met, what all situations we face every day, right? Material world only is not a happy place. And if you're among asuras and atheistic people like Hiranyakashipu, imagine he was trying to kill his own child. To what extent, right? It becomes even more intolerable. Now, Prahlad Maharaj is not blaming the Lord in this sloka. What he's saying is, I know I've been among all these asuras because of my own karma. No, devotees never blame anybody. They never say I'm the victim. Somebody did wrong to me. They try to take ownership. I must have done something wrong. Maybe I deserve more. That even Haridas Thakur, when he was beaten up in the marketplace, he was like, I need probably more punishment. I must have done something that has come back to me. But karma is like that, no? What we give out only will come back. So he's saying, because of my own karma, I was among all these asuras. But will you take me back now? Prahlad Maharaj is saying, he says in the puppet. So he's saying, please call me back and I want to be in your shelter. Take me into to your lotus feet. He's so innocently telling, oh Lord, I want to be with you. Such nice prayer. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read.
Sure.
O Great One, O Supreme Lord, because of combination with pleasing and displeasing circumstances, and because of separation from them, one is placed in a most regrettable position within heavenly or hellish planets, as if burning in a fire of lamentation. Although there are many remedies by which to get out of the miserable life, any such remedies in the material world are more miserable than the miseries themselves. Therefore, I think that the only remedy is to engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in such service. Purport: material opulence may be somewhat pleasing for the time being, but to come to that temporary pleasing condition, one must work extremely hard. When a poor man is rich, he may be better situated, but to come to that position, he had to accept many miseries. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We have heard that saying, right? Money cannot buy happiness. So definitely we all work very hard to attain some kind of, material opulence and which is required to maintain our body and soul together. All that is required. In this world, we have to work. Even Krishna is telling Arjuna to get up and perform his duties. So that we cannot escape. But at the same time, uh, we have to be aware that, what is our ultimate goal. Prabhupada says, humanity must be trained to engage in the loving service of the Lord, Krishna consciousness. There is no happiness otherwise. Krishna consciousness can actually keep us happy. Otherwise, there is nothing. So we can see so many examples of day in and day out. We can see in the news only. A 70, 75-year-old person is committing suicide. So imagine, what they are going through. Because as you grow older, become elderly, we don't know when what will happen. Because Parikshit Maharaj knew he had 7 more days to live, but not everybody knows, right? How long, 80, 90, 70, 60, 50, whatever. But at that age, as you grow older, such a person also wants to escape this material world and imagine their mental state. So it is given very clearly that material opulence cannot really bring us happiness at all. Material opulence. So to have a happy, blissful life, you have to be Krishna conscious, constantly engage in the transcendental loving service and follow the 9 processes. That will actually change everything. Once material conditions will be changed, that's given in the purport. And all this trouble and misery, everything, the outlook changes. Like yesterday, Nirja Mataji was also sharing her experience, how things change as you start chanting. So we can see so many changes in ourselves and our surroundings and how we interact with people and how things have improved, right? So much we change. So like that, a life of Krishna consciousness can actually help us in so many ways. That is all given in the purport. Actually, Prabhupada, in every purport, he is mentioning that it is very important for a person to become Krishna conscious. That's what is Prahlad teaching us. He was not one day he cried. He was actually telling his father, "O king of demons, Your mind is your greatest enemy. What you are doing is wrong. You know, he was trying to advise his father. Usually it's the other way around. Father advises the son, but your son was trying to correct the father. He's not disturbed at all. So how did he reach that stage? You can understand how pure he was. Hare Krishna. Okay, can someone read this?
I'll read, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Oh, my Lord Narasimha Deva, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated souls, Hamsas, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories, following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his disciplic succession. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nescience. Purport. As soon as a devotee can chant the holy name and glories of the Supreme Lord, he certainly comes to the liberated position. Attachment for glorifying the Lord by hearing and chanting the holy name and activities of the Lord. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam certainly brings one to the position where material contamination is absent. Accepting the thoughts of exalted authorities through disciplic succession is certainly much easier than the method of mental speculation. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. For this shloka, what Prabhupada is saying is, all these great acharyas, they have already composed some kirtans, how they were chanting and how they were worshipping the Lord. We have to just follow in their footsteps. Because we cannot say, now I know devotional service. I know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am going to do it my own way. That's not going to help. So we have to take shelter of the acharyas coming in the disciplic succession. So this point is very clear in the purport. He says, because acharyas themselves are free from all material contamination. They're already pure. So taking their shelter will definitely help us come out of all the entanglement. So just follow their footsteps, sing what they sing, hear their kirtans, because their kirtans are already perfect. So we have to just follow their instructions and everything will be fine. Prabhupada is written like that. So shloka number 19. Can someone read, please?
I'll only read this. Okay, Mataji, you can.
Okay. Yes,
My Lord
Mataji.
Narasimha Dev,
Okay.
who supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you, cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. And a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. There are guaranteed measures for protection. They should make vigorous propaganda to awaken the populace and raise them to the platform of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So this is what is given in the purport. So we can never be happy without the mercy of the Supreme Lord. This point is given in the purport. It's become very clear because none of the medicines or all the money and all the people around us, nothing can save us actually, it's only the mercy of the Lord. So that point is very clear. Okay, 20. Let's see who is going to read.
Can I read, Mataji?
Sure, Mataji.
My dear Lord, everyone in this material world is under the modes of material nature, being influenced by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Everyone, from the greatest personality, Lord Brahma, down to the small ant, works under the influence of these modes. Therefore, everyone in this material world is influenced by your energy. The cause for which they work, the place where they work, the time when they work, the matter due to which they work, the goal of life they have considered final, and the process for obtaining this goal, all are nothing but manifestations of your energy. Indeed, Since the energy and the energetic are identical, all of them are but manifestations of you. Purport: everything that is done, whether in the higher, middle, or lower planetary systems, is due to the supervision or control of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We see things happening around us all the time. We think this is happening, that is happening. Somebody said something, somebody did something, this person is great, he has great talent. Whatever is happening, not only here in the higher planetary system, lower planets, everything is happening under the control of the Supreme Lord. The whole of Bhagavad Gita also, when we read, we think Arjuna is fighting, he won the war, whatever. But without Krishna's, help or guidance, or his Krishna only did it. He says that in 11th chapter, all these people are already killed by me. You are just an instrument in my hand. It's like that. We have to just play our part perfectly, like how nut and bolt work in a machine. No, that analogy is also given. Like how the little parts in the machine also help the machine to function. It is like that. We just have to be part of that whole process. So that is what our role is. That's what a devotee does, just becomes the instrument in the hand of the Lord. He says, because everything is controlled by the Lord in the end. We are not independent at all. So that's the point. So next one, Hare Krishna.
I'll read Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. O Lord, O Supreme Eternal, by expanding your plenary portion, you have created the subtle bodies of the living entities through the agency of your external energy, which is agitated by time. Thus, the mind entraps the living entity in unlimited varieties of desires to be fulfilled by the Vedic directions of karma, kanda, fruitive activity, and the 16 elements, who can get free from this entanglement unless it takes shelter at your lotus feet. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona, Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhaktilata Bija. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Prabhupada has given this in the purport. He says, the hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is everywhere. And if we have a desire, or if we are very fortunate, a spiritual master will appear. And however fallen we are, what happens? He will give us the Bhaktilata Bij. The Lord's representative can actually do that. He'll sow the seed in our heart, and this will fructify, and it will cultivate properly into Krishna consciousness, and gradually we elevate ourselves into the spiritual world. So that is the ultimate goal. Conclusion is we have to surrender to the Lord in Bhakti Yoga, and slowly we can actually go back to the spiritual world. And wherever we are, that is Vaikuntha. Because a person who is completely like Prabhupada, see, he was highly elevated, right? He was not ordinary. So wherever he was, Vaikuntha was there. It's like that. So wherever such a person is, that place becomes holy. So we want to go back to Godhead, but if you are very fortunate and if you are among devotees, that itself is the greatest benediction for all of us. Okay, we'll do till 25, and then the remaining we can do next week. Or if Prabhuji is back, he will continue from there. So 22, 23, 24, 25, we'll do that much. Can someone read this, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. My dear Lord, O Supreme Great, you have created this material world of 16 constituents, but you are transcendental to their material qualities. In other words, these material qualities are under your full control and you are never conquered by them. Therefore, the time element is your representation. My Lord, O Supreme, no one can conquer you. As for me, however, I am being crushed by the wheel of time, and therefore I surrender fully unto you. Now kindly take me under the protection of your lotus feet. Purport: he is the controller of the material energy, whereas we, the living entities, are under its control. When we give up our constitutional position, Jivera Swarupa Haya, Krishnera Nitya Dasa. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
sentence is Hare Krishna Mataji. Sentence is not complete. It's actually, it says our constitutional position is Jivara Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadas. We are eternally the servants of the Lord. So the point of this verse is, Prabhupada says, this world is like a prison. Okay, and then that material world, the material energy is working now. So it's like we are all sinners, we are fallen, we We are here so that we can purify ourselves. Right now, we are not qualified to be in Vaikuntha or Goloka, anywhere out of this material creation. So it's like a criminal sitting in the going through his punishment. But the government can actually do something. If the government changes his punishment, it says, okay, this person needs to be released. He's no more a threat. Or whatever. He says, oh, by mistake he's inside. Whatever, they can actually change the rules and actually make him free again. Same way, the Lord can do that to us. If we directly take his shelter and if he decides, he can take us out of the suffering. So that's the whole point. Prabhupada says that. Because he's the controller of the material conditions also. So he can definitely help us. All we have to do is take shelter of the Lord. That's what Prahlad Maharaj did. But Prahlad Maharaj is completely pure, is on another platform only. But we have to understand the essence of how surrender is. Hare Krishna. Verse 23. We'll do 23, 24, 25. So 3 more. Who would like to read? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, opulence, and enjoyment. But I have seen all of these through the activities of my father. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movements of his eyebrows. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. Purport: no one can maintain his body or material achievements forever. A Vaishnava can understand that nothing within this material world, not even that which is powerful, opulent, or influential, can endure. One must surrender unto the Lord to be saved from the wheel of repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Prabhupada says he's given some examples like these great politicians, great kings, so many Maharajas, Maharanis, so many people appeared and they left also. But he's given example of Hitler, Subhash Chandra Bose, and great military commanders and all those people. When they were here, they commanded respect, right? They were so popular, they were so influential and everything. But then it is all temporary. So same way, Hiranyakashipu also, he saw his own father. He controlled so much. Whenever he felt a little hot, he would just raise his eyebrows, and the temperature would, wind god, Vayudev, and everybody could adjust everything for him. They had to make him very comfortable. We have AC, in the house. It's like that. So we just had to, the god, Devatas themselves were adjusting to his moods. So that much he controlled. But what happened? Was it eternal? The power? Nothing is eternal. He was vanquished in a second. Narasimha appeared, killed him in no time. So he's telling all that is not going to help us. We want power, we want this, we want how much money we'll accumulate, we'll make as much property as we can. But the moment the person is dead, they'll distribute all the clothes, everything. Everything is gone. He also, the death will take away everything. Lord in the form of death will take away everything. Whatever name we are attached to, that is gone. Everything is gone. And all his items also will be cleared off. So that is life. So he understands that very nicely. So we give importance to all these things in the material world. But oh God, you are the greatest. So please help me. He's saying, he wants to take his shelter and nothing else. He doesn't want anything else. Okay, 2 more we'll do. Hare Krishna. Can someone read this?
My dear Lord, now I have complete experience concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, and other material pleasures enjoyed by all living entities, from Lord Brahma down to the ant. As powerful time, you destroy them all. Therefore, because of my experience, I do not wish to possess them. My dear Lord, I request you to place me in touch with your pure devotee and let me serve him as a sincere servant. Purport: by following in the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj, one should gain thorough experience that all material opulence is perishable at every moment. Even this body, for which we try to acquire so many sensual pleasures, may perish at any time. The soul, however, is eternal. Na hanyate hanyamane sarire.
Sharire.
Every sarire. Every intelligent man within this material world must follow Prahlad Maharaj. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So Prahlad Maharaj mood is servitorship. So see, happiness through material advancement, he is rejecting that. And there are different types of material opulence. It is given in the purport, bhukti, mukti, and siddhi. Bhukti is people want position, power. It's like, I want to become Indra, I want to become Brahma, I can control so many things if I have power. They want to go to the higher planetary systems, enjoy more. No, the greatest kind of sense gratification they can enjoy. Even in this world, there are some places people are like, wow, such a beautiful place. Everything is there, just a press of button, something happens, and so much comfort, and imagine in the higher planets what must be there. So they are looking for that bhukti. Mukti is, some people are so disgusted with this material advancement and this material world and all the problems, they just want to go merge with the Lord. So they have that um, desire. And siddhi is, people want some kind of special mystic powers, like these yogis, no? They have this lagima, anima, lagima, mahima, garima, yeshitva, prakamya, vashitva, prakti, all these 8 siddhis, they work very hard for that. They do meditation and so much austerity to gain all these powers. And Hanuman has this, he can become smaller than the smallest. So much tiny he can become big also. And he can become light. So many, these are all special mystic powers. So some people look for that. I want this, I want that. But he says all that is waste. Prahlad Maharaj is not even looking for all that. Everybody will be punished. At the end, what will happen? Just like his father, whatever his austerity did, everything is zero now. So he says, we have to come back again to the material world to suffer more. That's what will happen if these kind of desires are there. So I'm rejecting all of that. Please, guide me. I want to be with you. Again, he's asking only that. So we'll do this one and then we'll stop. Can someone read this, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where is water in the desert, or in other words, where is happiness in this material world? As for this body, what is its value? It is merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, and politicians know this very well, but nonetheless, they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain, but because they are unable to control their senses, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world and never come to the right conclusion. Purport: our desires cannot be satisfied by illusory thoughts and plans. Rather, we have to follow the instructions of Lord Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Then we shall be happy. Otherwise, in the name of happiness, we shall continue to suffer miserable conditions. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. In the purport, Prabhupada says, it seems there is a Bengali song which says, I constructed this very nice, beautiful house, and unfortunately, it caught fire or something like that. Means anything can happen, right? This whole, we may make so many plans, but in the end, it will be annihilated. And this also said, the piece of land that we say, this is mine, this is my house, this is my land. See, this land existed before we were born also. After we perish also, like the body is gone, the land will still exist. For the temporary moment, we feel like, oh, I own something. We make all these plans. Everything is like a waste of time. So nobody can stop this blazing fire by pouring more ghee. The more we have more materialistic desire, the more we are burning. It is Bhava Maha Davagni, the forest fire of material existence. So it's like by becoming more and more lusty, we are getting more and more lusty only by feeding our desires, materialistic desires. We are going to get worse and worse. So nobody can be happy in the material world actually. So there is no formula. The only formula is Krishna consciousness, where a person is completely surrendered to the Lord and is working in that consciousness. So that is very important. That's what Prabhupada is saying. If a person is not a devotee of the Lord, he has to definitely suffer. There is nothing else can be done. So I will stop the live stream. Somehow it's gone live also. I'll stop share. Okay, then stop.